our first sentence in our mission reads, "We aim to serve the common good in Germany." So I think this is something that is really interesting to reflect upon. How does this actually come together? Africa we want and the common good that we want to serve in Germany. I will leave it at this because I would love this to be also our point in our discussion afterwards. What I can say is that, of course, it's not the only sentence, it's just the first one, and then it goes on that for this we also engage ourselves in issues of security, increasing peace worldwide. So there we would come together. So as the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, for example, we stand for peace, right? But what does this mean? Also working together with other organizations. Are we on the same page? Do we have the same understanding that we say we are advocating or engaging for peace? We also say we are for solidarity. Do we understand solidarity in the same way? And I love these spaces that we are creating together with Leo Africa Institute because they give us the platform to actually discuss these questions, to look into them, to challenge ourselves. And as we work together from these different perspectives, but we do share a lot in common, and our values that we have as institutions and as persons who we work for these institutions, I still always looking also in our networks and what we have achieved and where the people are now today. You are also reflecting upon, so are we creating allies for each other in what we do and in our engagement worldwide? So is CAS through the Leo network, for example, can we count on people to engage together with us also in the interest, in our interest, and can Leo count on us to engage us in, or also the Leo network to engage us in their interest? Because I believe this is something that we really need to answer, because we do this, all our work together to create and to have allies, I think, worldwide in what we do. Coming to the network that we are creating together, that we are shaping together, I would also always love, and I try to do it frequently, to kind of, as a process of self-reflection. Are we engaging a network in like an echo chamber for reassurance of maybe our own thoughts and ideas? Are we exposing ourselves and our networks enough to, get also maybe some feedback and very different opinions from those that we might have that challenge us, that, hurt, that make us maybe also rethink certain things? In critical times, is this the network that you can also count on? Will these be people to support you? Will they stay with you? And as we, as foundation, we say shaping democracy together is, for example, which place does democracy take in this network, in our work, and so on? And meaning, if critical times are to come, can we be sure that members of our networks actually do advocate for democracy. Or maybe they will become opportunistic and follow the trail of money or power. Use maybe or support a political project that is so different from what we have advocating for all the years. This is, I think, something that, keeps me awake. So these people, and I have a very personal kind of experience right now due to the war of Russian aggression in Ukraine, because I see that I kept a certain network that was very important for me, of also mutual support. But for example, I have lost a big part of my family because there will be no way back, because we are just so on different, sides. What we think is right, what we think we should do, what we think we should advocate for and fight for. So is our network, how strong is it to fight for the values that we have always shared with the network? How strong are members to maybe sacrifice certain things? So this is something that really I always reflect upon. And in your program, it also says that I would address the question of the meaning of the values for joint collaboration in changing times and values as a foundation to navigate through turbulent world. So let me first maybe address the changing times. I don't know how you feel, but my impression is that the pace, how the times are changing right now, has increased so much. I feel sometimes that we are still thinking in very linear terms, but the change comes in waves, and the change comes sometimes exponentially, and we still run behind this because we still have the different logic, the different way to think. And I look at these changing times, especially in the context of, really societies. The question of identities, of how we see ourselves, of also our individual values, the questions of, social hierarchies, structures, traditions, and so on, they are all being questioned right now. The question of, for example, gender identity. I mean, I've been a woman for all my life, and I've been working in the political space for more than 15 years now. And I entered my own institution in 2008, and back then it was a completely different story. Yes, it was like conservative old men. Now I look at this institution and how many women we are, how young we are. The culture has changed, and it's going on, and every time I feel it's getting faster and faster, this change, and the conversations that are taking place. So certain values are really give you the foundation to kind of also calm down and say, okay, what is, when it comes to these changes, what are really, or what were values and what not, or what were maybe just beliefs or interests and so on. So what are the core principles that no matter how fast the change can unfold, we will be able to still contribute our share to shape the future. And the same when it comes to the world that is also changing quite fast. I don't know for how long in Germany we've been discussing, for example, the competition between democracies and authoritarian regimes. Really, for a long, long time. That, you know, our core principles of democracies are threatened. They might not be even as attractive anymore that they used to be. So what do we do with this? And all, you know, again and again we were talking about it. And then the 24th of February comes and we are not prepared. Literally, completely unprepared. What did we think, really, if we talk about the competition or even the conflict of different systems, political systems, how this conflict would unfold? Why weren't we prepared for it? Why were we so naive? And some people would ask nowadays, well, nobody could really see what Russia would do. Really? And I can tell this because I was part of this network of people who would always say, look again at how the Russian society, you know, is constructed right now. Look at the spaces that are not there anymore. Look at the mentality that is there. Look into their investments into the military sector, especially after 2014. So I was part of this group that was saying after 2014, how can Nord Stream 2 still happen? It's not an economic project. But there were, of course, camps, even within my own political parties that I belong to, that would say, no, it's an economic project and so on. And they would say at the same time, oh, you used to work in Ukraine. That's why you advocate so much for the Ukrainian cause, because you are biased. And it was difficult to say, well, maybe also you are biased in terms of Russia. So that's one example. The other example would be COVID. Really, was there no information about, and experts actually have warned us, that pandemics are one of the biggest challenges, as it is, for example, climate change. Now, with the pandemic, at least you can say this is this case of low probability, high risk, so we do not invest into it. With the war in Russia, it's a different story again. Why I'm bringing this all up? Because, again, to navigate through all these challenges internationally that affect, at the end, all of us, no matter where we are, we need allies. So are we creating networks on which we can rely and say these are our allies when we need to navigate through these difficult, challenging times globally? Can we count on each other? I leave it at this, but I'm looking forward to Awel's feedback and then to the conversation that we might have. Thank you.